अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. जय श्रीमन्नारायण. श्रीमते रामानुजाय नमः. Jai Shri Ram. Yesterday I completed one full avartan of Valmiki Ramayana. It took me around 3+ years to read all those 6 kandas, excluding the Uttara Kanda. And I'll be creating different videos to share my observations and experiences through this great journey of Valmiki Ramayana. Valmiki Ramayana is an itihasa for us. It's our history. It's not a mythology. So that has to be remembered. And Valmiki was blessed by Lord Brahma himself so that he could get the direct vision and record the events of Ramayana as is. And he did that exactly. In today's topic, I will be covering certain observations on the age of Ramayana. Many people today say Rama or Ramayana happened 5 to 10,000 years ago only. Many of the modern day people who believe in Ramayana or certain so-called philosophers or saints, modern day yoga teachers who or certain gurus, they also claim or say that Ramayana happened only 10,000 years ago. I was taking this yoga course which was designed by certain XYZ. It's a great course, but again they only believe that only 10,000 years ago certain god instructed Saptarshis and then they spread this knowledge on earth. But for anybody who reads Valmiki Ramayana or believes in Ramayana, they should not say so, because even if you say that Ramayana is only few thousand years old, we need to know the age of Rama as per the very first sarga in Balakanda, Sankshepa Ramayanam, in which Valmiki clearly gives the number of years that Rama lived and ruled this earth. So it is 97th shloka of the very first sarga of Balakanda. And in that it is told that Dasha Varsha Sahasrani Dasha Varsha Shatanicha Ramo Rajyam Upasitva Brahmalokam Gamishyati. After ruling 11,000 years, Dasha Varsha Sahasrani, that is 10 into 1000, 10,000. Dasha Varsha Shatanicha, 10 into 100, another 1000. So 10,000 plus 1000, 11,000 years Rama ruled, and then he left to his abode. So even going by just this statement, Rama himself lived for 11,000 years. So how can it be that Ramayana happened just few thousand years ago, 5 to 10,000 years ago? Similarly, in Balakanda, while describing the penance of sage Vishwamitra, it is told, Vishwamitro Mahateja Palayamasa Medinim Bahuvarsha Sahasrani Raja Rajyam Akarayat. Vishwamitra also ruled this earth for many thousands of years before he took off on the path of becoming a Brahmarshi. And when on that path, he worshipped for 1,000 of years in each direction, attaining degree by degree to that state. So Valmiki Ramayana is not directly giving you the age of Ramayana, because Valmiki is an expert and the content or the teachings of Ramayana are valid for every age. So he didn't give it, but through the contents of Valmiki Ramayana, you can decipher the age of Ramayana. But before going to Valmiki Ramayana, let us understand a bit of our own timeline. Every one of us who does our Sandhya Vandan right? The salutations to the sun in the morning, afternoon and evening. We say our Sankalpam, and during that we say that we are in so and so time, that is, we are in Sri Shweta Varaha Kalpe Vaivasvata Manvantare Kaliyuge Pradhama Pade Jambudvipe Bharatavarshe Bharatakhande. So anybody who says this and says that humans or Rama existed only 10,000 years old, they are not even understanding what they are doing daily. Our timeline is divided by our rishis as yugas, mahayugas, manvantaras, kalpas. So we are currently in Kali Yuga of Vaivasvata Manvantara. I think it is the 28th Manvantara. 28th Manvantara. So in Kali Yuga is one yuga. Like that there are 4 yugas: Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. 4 of these yugas make one Mahayuga or Chatur Yuga. So if you see the time, Kali Yuga, the current Kali Yuga, in the 28th Manvantara we are in. Kali Yuga, we are just maybe around 5,000 years have elapsed, close to that. In Kali Yuga there are 4,32,000 years. Dwapara Yuga has twice the number of years in Kali Yuga, that is 8,64,000 years. This Dwapara Yuga is when Lord Krishna was born. Treta Yuga has thrice the number of years as Kali Yuga, which is 12,96,000. For people who don't understand, lakh is 100,000. So Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. Dwapara Yuga is 864,000 years. Treta Yuga is 1,296,000 years, and Krita Yuga is 4 times Kali Yuga, that is 1,728,000. These many years. All put together, the time, if you add the number of human years of all these 4 yugas, it comes to around 4,320,000. That is, I think 4 followed by 6 zeros, right? So it is 4 million and 3,20,000 years, or 4 million 4 million 3 lakhs, correct, 4 million 320,000 years. That is the timeline of one Mahayuga or Chatur Yuga. And 71 such Chatur Yugas are grouped under a time frame called as Manvantara. Each Manvantara is ruled by a particular Manu. We are currently under the rule of Vaivasvata Manu. And just to digress, in Ramayana, when Sugriva describes the different directions of earth, when he describes the south direction, he describes Pandyas and Cholas and Andhras also. I am from Andhra, right? So it's a privilege that at that time there was that thing. Now, according to the recent historians, Pandyas are just few hundred years old. But some claim, now I don't know the real proof, that King Satyavrata, who existed just before this Manvantara, or a particular epoch in time had started, he was saved by Lord who appeared as a fish, and that Lord Vishnu, appearing as a fish, took him and his people across the deluge to a safer location so that they could start the next civilization again, And this story is not just in India, it is there in other civilizations also across, which means that there is a common base to all of us. And this Satyavrata, some claim, is a Pandya. So, which should have occurred in one of these deluges, right? That happened at the beginning of this Manvantara or this Kalpa. So, Vaivasvata Manu is the Manu who is the current Manu, who is in charge of the 71 Mahayugas of this Manvantara. And each Mahayuga, as I said, has 4 yugas. And each of these 4 yugas, they are 4320000, these many years. So if you multiply this number by 71, that is the time of one Manvantara. And 1000 such Manvantaras is one Kalpa. And one Kalpa is considered to be the day of Lord Brahma in our timeline. Similarly, another one Kalpa is his night. So one day of Brahma is 2 Kalpas. And such 360 days of Brahma is 1 year for him, and one Brahma lives for 100 years. I forget, but I think somewhere I remember saying that current Brahma is completed his 50 years or something. But anyway, let's not get there. But Puranas like Harivamsha Purana, Vayu Purana, Matsya Purana, Skanda Purana, etc., they all give the timeline of Ramayana very clearly. So, they say that Ramayana occurred millions of years ago. Currently, we are in the 28th Manvantara, and they say that Ramayana happened in the 24th Manvantara. Currently, we are in the 28th Mahayuga or the 28th Chaturyuga. 28th Chaturyuga. Chaturyuga has 4 yugas, right? So, we are in the 28th quartet of this current Manvantara, Vaivasvata Manvantara. But Ramayana happened in the same Manvantara, but in the 24th Chaturyuga. So, for example, if you have to quote from Harivamsha Purana, it says, Chaturvimshe Yuge Chapi Vishwamitra Purassaraha Rajnyo Dasharadhasya Atha Putra Padmayate Ekshanaha Kritva Atmanam Mahabahu Chaturdha Prabhurishvaraha Loke Rama iti Khyata Tejasa Bhaskaropama. This says that Chaturvimshe Yuge, in the 24th Yuga or the 24th Mahayuga, keeping Vishwamitra, sage Vishwamitra, as his guru in his front, as his guide, the beautiful lotus-eyed Rama was born to King Dasharatha, and he himself, that Ishvara, Prabhu of everyone, the controller, he divided himself or his energy or his effulgence into 4 parts, and he became Rama, one of those 4. And he is Bhaskaropama. He is famous as Rama, and he is equivalent in his shine to sun. So, Chaturvimsha Yuga, it's told that Rama was in the 24th Mahayuga of this Manvantara. Similarly, Krishna Avatara or Vyasa, Veda Vyasa, all of these, it's mentioned that they happened in Dwapara Yuga of this Dwapara Yuga, or Dwapara Yuga corresponding to this 28th Mahayuga. So that is also told in Harivamsha Parva, Navame Dwapare Vishnu, Ashtavimshe Purabhavat, Vedavyasa Tadha Yagne, Jatu Karnya Purassaraha, Eko Veda Chaturdha tu Kritah Tena Mahatmana, Janito Bharato Vamsha, Satyavatya Sutena Cha. So it is told that Vedavyasa was born to Satyavati, and then he started this Bharatavamsha. He was responsible for dividing the Vedas into 4 parts, and it was in Ashtavimshe. Lord Vishnu was born um, as the ninth incarnation, right? After the ninth incarnation of Vishnu, or rather it should be taken as Navame Dwapare Vishnu Ashtavimshe Purabhavat. So it is mentioning that it is in the 28th Ashtavimshe Yuga at 6. And not just this, there are other Puranas also which can be referred to, which give that Ramayana happened at least 4 Mahayugas. So 4 into 4320000, those many years. So millions of years ago, at least some people put it to more than 1 million years ago, 1.8 million years ago, something like that, right? If you take the time of 4 yugas, plus you have to add, right? So basically, we are in 28th Kali Yuga, we have to go to 24th Treta Yuga, when Rama was born. So even though if you don't believe in our Puranas, as I said, our timeline, as we daily do our worship to Sun God, it clearly says that we are in this Vaivasvata Manvantara, and then we are in this Kali Yuga, and we are in this Shveta Varaha Kalpa. Okay, the Kalpa has 1000 Manvantaras again. Each Manvantara has 71 Chaturyugas. Each Chaturyuga has 4 yugas: Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. Now, so while Valmiki Ramayana hasn't mentioned this, or maybe if he might have mentioned it but it's lost, if you see the indications in Valmiki Ramayana about how he's saying, how it can indicate it to millions of years ago, right? So if you see, first of all, I'll start with a very basic thing. When in Balakanda, 29th Sarga, when sage Vishwamitra is taking Lakshmana and Sri Rama through the forests, he mentions to Rama and Lakshmana about Siddhashrama. Siddhashrama is the place where Lord Vishnu meditated for the benefit of these worlds. He chose that place, and that happened many yugas ago. So it's mentioned, Iha Rama Mahabaho Vishnur Deva Namaskritaha Varshani Subahun Iha, many Tadha Yuga Shatanicha. So for hundreds of yugas, Tapash Charanayogartham Uvasa Sumaha Tapah, he did penance and yoga. Lord Vishnu, who is revered by all the gods, did yoga and penance here for hundreds of yugas. So this is indicating a vastness of the timeline wherein we are talking about. So if we say that, okay, then the next line goes that Esha Purvashramo Rama Vamanasya Mahatmanaha Siddhashrama iti khyatah Siddho Hyatra Mahatapah. Again, many years before you, Vamana at the same place was born, right? So, and then this has attained that name Siddhashrama because it gave Siddhi to the contemplation of the Supreme Lord Himself. It gave Siddhi, it brought about Vamana Avatara for us. It also gave Siddhi to sage Kashyapa and his penance, as is mentioned, and it is also the place that has been chosen by Vishwamitra today. Today means during that time, and he is taking Rama and Lakshmana to safeguard his penance there, to punish Tataki, Maricha and Subahu, as we all know. So, how does Vishwamitra know about Lord Vishnu being here hundreds of yugas before? It has been passed on through generations of sages to him, right? And he is also not a recent person, as I have indicated already. He has ruled this earth for several thousands of years earlier. And if you look at some of the other very interesting things in Ramayana talks about flying mountains. At some point of time, the mountains on this planet Earth could fly. Yeah, this might look like mythology again to you people, but you means whoever does not want to believe. But Mainaka, when Hanuman is flying, first of all, a monkey is flying, right? That itself you should question before you even believe in Hanuman, right? Or any monkey for that matter. All these monkeys could fly. And Hanuman was flying over the ocean, right? How can somebody fly? This is also mythology, you might strike it off. But again, as I repeat, Valmiki Ramayana is itihasa for we Bharatiyas, right? It's history, it's our history. And when Hanuman is flying over the ocean to find Sita, mountain Mainaka asks him to rest on him. And he says that at one point of time I had wings, I could fly, but Indra cut off our wings because we were causing havoc to the life on earth, because these mountains could fly anywhere and then go and halt anywhere, killing people or creating havoc or causing geological disturbances, right? So even if you didn't want to believe in the flying mountains, then the next level I will bring up is there is a concept of four-tusked elephants. So when Hanuman visits Lanka, he sees Lanka, he sees many great things in Lanka. It's like a paradise. And there he says that he sees four-tusked elephants. Rathaih, Yanaih, Vimanaihcha, Tatha, Gajahayaih Shubhaih, Varanaihcha, Chaturdamtaih, Shveta Abhra Nichayopamaih. So he saw multitude of elephants, Varanaihcha, Chaturdantaih, with four tusks there, which were kind of resembling ensemble of white clouds. Maybe they were white in their this thing, right? And apart from that, he saw many horses and many buildings, many vehicles, and big crossroads there. So now if you see even in Wikipedia, or there is a name for these four-tusked elephants. There used to be a species that are termed today as, I cannot pronounce it correctly, but it's Gomphotheres, Gomphotheres. So this is a varied family of extinct animals, it seems, and these elephant-like animals, and these had four tusks, and Wikipedia and many other things, they put the age of these four-tusked elephants to millions of years ago. Some say it is around maybe 1.6 to 12 million years ago, and some say it is even 50 million years ago, and some are saying that they existed along with maybe few so basically while there is this thing, the exact date is not known, but there is a agreement that millions of years ago these things existed. And if you go to these sites, they show their skeleton also, right? Just like dinosaurs that we have the skeletons, there are certain skeletons of these Gomphotheres or their images that are shown. And recently my kids were watching a show wherein they are talking about animals that became extinct in 1980s, 1990s, etc. They were golden frogs that were there in 1980 but got extinct. Ramayana mentions about, I'll take a separate topic on that, a wormhole, wherein Vanaras are taken into a different dimension, different plane, which is a parallel paradise that was created by a demon called Maya, and he earned the curse of Indra. So Indra killed him. So in that Maya's paradise, which is in a cave within Vindhyas, wherein Vanaras are lost, they see golden frogs and different kinds of colored animals. Anyway, so why I'm talking about it is something that was extinct 30 years back, today we cannot see its trace, right? And in some cases like dinosaurs or maybe these Gomphotheres, their skeletal remains were there for people to say that yeah, something like this existed. Otherwise, there is no way that you could even today's people will not agree to this, right? So the four-tusked, this statement in Sundarakanda by Hanuman tells us that the age of Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, is millions of years old. Similarly, in Kishkinda Kanda, there is a topic on flying lions, lions with wings. So when Sugriva is describing the western direction from India, current India, the western direction to the monkeys, because he is asking a set of monkeys to go and search in the western direction. And there he says that there is a mountain called as Hemagiri. This is in the Sindhu Ocean. Okay, maybe to the left side, or currently whatever they are calling as Indus Valley, or the juncture of where the Indus River used to meet the ocean. Sindhu Sagarayoh Chaiva Sangame Tatra Parvataha, at the juncture of Sindhu River and ocean, there is a mountain. Mahan Hemagiri Nama Shatashrungo Mahadrumaha. So there is a Hemagiri mountain with 100 peaks, big peaks, and with many great trees. Then in that mountain, Tatra Prastheshu Rameshu Simha Pakshagamah Sthita Timi Matsya Gajamschaiva Nidani Aropayantite. So there were lions with wings on this mountain, and they could capture the fishes, crocodiles, even elephants, and capture them and take them into their caves. And in those caves, there is a further mention that these elephants, the sound of these elephants used to resonate a lot. And Sugriva asks the Vanaras to search in these caves of these flying lions. And today, maybe again this is considered as mythology, because many civilizations, like if you take Mesopotamian, Egyptian, Persian mythologies, as is called mythologies today, they have images of these winged lions. Okay, and the Lamasu and Shedu, and again forgive my pronunciation, in Mesopotamian mythology are again depicted as winged lions. There is also a concept of griffin, a composite mythological creature with a lion's body and I think a head of a bird or an eagle, right? So why do you think these mythological images were drawn in all these civilizations? It is pointing to something that existed. That's how I take it. It's not somebody's just imagination that it need not be, right? It's not somebody's imagination that they will just draw something with wings. That, oh, I want a lion with wings. And these are pretty old civilizations we are talking about, right? And even in our own Indian there are images of flying lions. In some of the Puranas that you see, there is a description of a fight between Sharabha and Gandhabherunda. Sharabha is the incarnation of Lord Shiva, and Gandhabherunda is the incarnation of Nrasimha. And there it is mentioned that Sharabha is a lion with wings, and then Lord Vishnu takes an even more fiercer form of Gandhabherunda. Now there are debates on, certain Puranas have a certain version of this, but more or less many of the Puranas state a particular consistent version. Even today, if you go to temple in Srirangam, you can see that Gandhabherunda Narasimha, and these images have this flying lion images in them, right? Lion with wings, or that is Sharabha. And then Gandhabherunda is a multi-headed bird. I cannot even describe it. Maybe it's better to see it. Today it's an emblem of Karnataka government. So why is Karnataka government having this emblem? Are they fools? Because they are following a particular history, right? They are respecting a particular history. Similarly, all these civilizations are respecting a particular history. Now, The only connection to say that this might not be mythology but this is real is this example in our history wherein Sugriva is mentioning the caves of these flying lions or winged lions, and he asks Vanaras to not miss any of those caves on that mountain and search for Sita there. So, more or less, these are some of the points that I wanted to discuss about my findings from Valmiki Ramayana. And even this concept of Manvantaras and Kalpas are not just there in our Puranas. If somebody says Puranas are, we don't believe in Puranas, but Puranas themselves mean that, that even being old, they are still new, because the import that they offer us is always new. Even Surya Siddhanta, if somebody doesn't want to go to Puranas, which is relatively new, or our science, as many people believe in it, talks about the Manvantaras and Kalpas. They say that 12 months make a human year, and one human year is one day of gods, and 360 such days of gods, or 360 into 12 human years is 1 year of gods. And so 1 year of God is 360 into so basically 360 human years, right? So basically, and 12,000 of these divine years is nothing but your Chatur Yuga time. That's what Surya Siddhanta says, which basically comes to the same number of 4320000, these many years. Okay, and so 43 followed by 5 zeros to be more approximate. 43,100,000 years, right? So in that way we can take the age of a Chatur Yuga even described by Surya Siddhanta. And this is what, as I said, we tell always when we are saying our Sankalpa, that we are, hey Sun God, I am offering my prayers to you. I am currently in this Kali Yuga of this particular Vaivasvata Manvantara, of this Shveta Varaha Kalpa. I am currently in Jambudvipa. In that Jambudvipa, I am in Bharatavarsha. In Bharatavarsha, I am in Bharatakhanda. In Bharatakhanda, let us say I am in Pune today, between these two rivers. That's how we give our whole time. This, from time immemorial, we have been doing this, even before all these invasions created confusion in us. And if you are saying this and yet you say that we are only thousands of years old, then perhaps that is some introspection to do. But again, I am not here to debate or argue against anyone. I am only trying to present our itihasas, our history, what we have been following, and the vastness of the time and our existence as humans in that time. One other thing, as we all know, is that there is a common saying that man came from monkeys, but Ramayana clearly shows that Vanaras coexisted with humans. And also, another topic I will cover for another day, wherein Jatayu himself says in Aranyakanda to Rama and Lakshmana that all the species that you see today, whatever 84,000 species or whatever we call it, or lakh species, right? They were all created together. And how, it again is a big puzzle to many people today. But I'll try to cover what Jatayu says in that. Certain things today we are not able to see them, but they have been recorded in the annals of our history. And our ancestors have done a fantastic job in keeping them to us till now. And they wouldn't have gained any benefit in trying to teach us some non-existent things, like you tell stories to kids, right? If you are telling a story to kids with these kinds of creatures in that, or these kinds of imaginations, then that is to entertain kids. But Valmiki wrote this itihasa not to entertain kids. This is for the benefit of mankind. All these works were written, whether it is itihasas or Puranas, they are all describing the Vedas and giving us the import of Vedas. So why would somebody tell all these things if they didn't really exist? That's what I believe in, and that's what I wanted to present. Jai Sriman Narayana, Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimati Ramanujaya Namaha.